All right, coronavirus update, SEC Sports, as announced by SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey and by a vote of SEC University presidents, LSU Athletics today confirmed attendance at all LSU athletic events will be restricted to participating student-athletes, coaches, families, officials, essential personnel, and credentialed media beginning today, March 12th, and going through March 30th. The SEC basketball tournament in Nashville, NCAA President Mark Emmert announced Wednesday afternoon that the men's and women's basketball tournament will be held without fans in Nashville due to the coronavirus. NCAA Tournament update. The NCAA made the decision to hold its men's and women's basketball tournaments without fans because of the ongoing coronavirus. And in the NBA, the National Basketball Association has suspended the remainder of its season after a Utah Jazz player, Rudy Gobert, tested positive Wednesday for the coronavirus. The NBA will use the hiatus to determine next steps for moving forward in the regard to the virus, the pandemic. Also, the NBA announced that the G League would suspend all operations effective tonight. That was last night, effective immediately. People all over the world are reacting, including Woj. Here he is talking about Utah Jazz forward Rudy Gobert and the coronavirus.
Rudy Gobert has tested positive for the coronavirus. That was learned in Oklahoma City prior to that game between the Jazz and the Thunder. Right now, the Thunder and Jazz, I'm told, are both quarantined in that arena. And the NBA has made the decision. They have just announced that they are suspending play finishing after tonight's games. They're going to let tonight's games finish. But starting tomorrow, NBA play is suspended. And then the league is going to use that hiatus to decide their next steps, how they'll go forward. But this is the last night of NBA games for the foreseeable future.
I mean, has there ever been a bigger Woj bomb in the world? I was thinking Woj bomb, Woj nuke. The only thing, it's like a Woj Thanos snap. Just immediately half the galaxy just gone.
He looked exhausted last night.
Well, I mean, he's been working nonstop.
I mean, what's happening, Woj?
Shout out to Woj, man.
Yeah, shout out.
I mean, like, he's been covering this story better than anybody.
At first, though,
mainstream news media and all.
At first, though, I was kind of hyped because I heard the Pelicans game was back on. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be like the last showcase where we have no NBA for a while. Zion's gonna show out. Loser gets eliminated from the playoffs, and then that ref had just reffed a Jazz game the other day, and they had to cancel what we were calling the biggest Pelicans game in a couple of years.
I think the best joke I've seen is Rudy Gobert. Is he the defensive player of the year? He shut the whole league down.
Well, no, coronavirus beat him by a vote. Jay Billis was talking about the NCAA tournament playing in front of no fans.
That is where this entire thing has been trending. I mean, was declared by the World Health Organization today to be a global pandemic. So, and I know that they are looking to avoid a spike in this to where they can flatten the curve, and this could overwhelm our healthcare system. So I was not surprised that the first step was to decide not to play in front of fans. The only surprise that I had was on a much smaller scale. One, that Mark Emmert said that I made this decision, not we, that I made the decision. That was interesting. And then the fact that it wasn't coordinated among the conferences, it was just announced by the NCAA.
Yeah, I was all prepared to hate on the Jay Billis clip, but that actually all made a lot of sense. And that is surprising that Emmert just took that kind of unilateral decision-making. But in these times, look, I like he talks about flattening the curve. Maybe even that later, maybe we don't. But I do kind of agree with this overly cautious, better safe than sorry approach.
It was a whirlwind hour last night.
I mean, right?
For a minute.
Like what?
Like, it started with Tom Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, who tested positive for the coronavirus after a trip to Australia. Then President Donald Trump gets on television and announces that there's been a European travel ban for 30 days during a nationally televised address from the Oval Office. Minutes later, the NBA announces that they are suspending the rest of their season and that one of their players has tested positive.
Yeah.
I mean, it was wild.
It's surreal. It's like feels like it's out of a movie. Now, thankfully, normally in like contagion movies, the death rates are much higher. It's even scarier. But still, this is all, it's surreal.
But it's like the virus decided it needed to take our most important person Tom Hanks.
I know, dude. Come
It was
on.
like,
what'd you
who
do?
means the
Even
most
though-
to these people?
Even though Tom's cool. Tom and Rita are actually already over it, but so they're fine. They just tested positive for it, so they have to
That's what I was
quarantine.
like, man, it could get to anybody.
A point of clarity on the
I always thought we were on the outside.
a point of clarity on the travel ban too that Rivers pointed out this morning. It is a 30-day ban on all foreign, non-American citizens, foreigners who have in the previous 2 weeks been in the 26 countries that have been dealing with this.
So if you're American,
So if American
You're
citizens and permanent legal residents and their families are exempt, they are allowed to travel, but they'll have to go through enhanced screening, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not a full-on travel ban, but still a drastic step. And look, when President Trump's up there and like being serious and grave, like yeah, I get why the NCAA and everybody else is taking such precautious action.
Still holding strong in the face of the coronavirus is the St. Patrick's Day Parade of Baton
Right,
Rouge.
dude, it's
The
over
annual
now.
wearing of the green is riding on Saturday morning.
I feel like if you've ever attended a Baton Rouge St. Patty's Day parade, you probably are already immune to it.
Yeah, everybody go catch some Chinese beads. That'll be
Yes.
great. That'll work
LSU
out
football,
perfectly.
Glenn Dorsey, the most decorated defensive player in LSU
Yeah,
history.
here we go. Give me
man.
some good news.
Been named to the 2020 College Football Hall of Fame class. The National Football Foundation announced that on Wednesday. Dorsey, who was the face and starred on the LSU football's 2007 national championship team, will officially be inducted to the Hall of Fame on December 8th, 2020, at an award ceremony in New York City. LSU baseball, a solo home run off the bat of first baseman Cade Beloso, and a 3-run third inning propelled the number 19 Tigers to a 4-1 win over South Alabama on Wednesday night at the Box Skip Bertman Field. Next up, LSU off to one of the hottest teams in the country, to Oxford, Mississippi, to face off against Ole Miss, who won their 16th straight last night as they lead the nation in home runs with 37. Here was Paul Maneri talking about playing in front of empty parks in the coming up weeks.
You know, you come to LSU to play in the SEC, and that's where we're going this weekend. You know, it's going to be a very unique environment. I'm sure you all heard the news. So, you know, like I told the players, you know, you come to LSU because you love to play in front of big crowds and so forth. It's going to be something different for them. But you play because you love the game. And if you love the game, it shouldn't matter if anybody's in the stands or not. And that shouldn't be the motivation for you. Your motivation should be to play good baseball and help your team win. And we're going to go to Oxford and play a great team tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a team that's won, I think, 16 in a row. So we've got our work cut out for us. But it's going to be a unique environment for us. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, like you said, it's just got to be such a odd throwback to yesteryear when you were in there and all you heard were the moms with like rocks in the water bottles or like a cowbell of some sort. It's,
Birds chirping.
Yeah.
I mean,
Get
like,
over it.
you hear like stuff that you never hear at baseball games.
I am-
Like,
I'm curious about these water bottles with rocks, or what are you talking about? What are
You
we
like a
talking about?
shaker. It's just a little homemade shaker. You put little pebbles in a water bottle and you shake them up.
Huh.
Y'all never had that at like high school sports? Your moms never had that?
No, we just
the
like
crowd?
yelled and stuff.
No, y'all had cowbells, so we know, we all know what you did over there in Starkville. But no.
Did you grow up in a trailer, T-Ball?
You are rubbing your eyes so hard right now. My eyes have been hurting the whole time. I haven't rubbed them. We can't rub them. Solidarity.
It's because you've been touching the Lysol
We gotta-
bottle
we gotta-
can that Palmer told you not to touch.
We gotta
I
keep my eye
was
on
in
this
the
Mike sock.
bathroom all week.
No, I just rubbed down the Lysol can before he touched it. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Just
T-Bob.
spray the Lysol
Saving us
directly
all.
in your eye a little bit. It'll just take it right off. You'll be good to go.